It's a colleague announcement. Today's episode of Talk Scottish Football is brought to you by Tesco Parkhead Extra. Thank you for shopping with us this evening. Alright boys, how we doing?
What's your Tesco meal do? Nah, we're not going
I know, it's Jack Mate's happy hour.
I know.
Yeah, let's just address the Tesco uniform. I've come just from work, and also we didn't know we were going to be doing a show tonight, so I've not had time to get like a...
I've come straight for Ibrox.
I was going to put a jacket on, but I look like a twat, more of a twat than I look like just now. And I thought we'll just represent the company. I'm a company man.
Respect it, mate. Respect it.
You know, we've got a graph for a living, all of us. McGinley just graphs at the weekends alright enough, to be fair.
It's true.
Non-stop.
Graph never stops,
It
mate.
never stops. I'm hosting today by the looks of things. I'm kind of embracing this
Happy
hosting
days.
role now, but it is Thursday night, almost Friday wee hours.
Not
And we've
Friday,
had a
son.
night of Europa League action. It started off with Celtic over in Germany, where Mr. Ryan Fitzsimons and Mr. Kieran Auld find themselves this evening. And Celtic were beaten 3-2 by Bayer Leverkusen. Is it Bayer or Bayern?
Bayer.
Bayer Leverkusen. And then at Ibrox later in the evening, Alfredo, I almost called him Alberto Morelos there was a reason. Alfredo Morelos scored 2 goals as Rangers beat Sparta Prague 2-0. Gentlemen, how are we? Div?
Yes,
Not
very
bad. Better
good.
form than the last show.
Absolutely. Voice is a little bit tender.
Hoarse. Wee bit hoarse.
Wee bit.
And
hoarse.
how are you? You're alright, aren't you?
I'm alright.
Yeah, he's
I'm awake. I'm here. I'm not too
McGinley
not
says
too sad.
He says he's tired
He's a
today.
tired
I'm
boy,
very tired.
but he's a clean living McGinley
That's
now, because
it.
he's chucked the fizzy juice, he's chucked the energy juice,
I've chucked the Coke.
he's
Chucked the Monster.
the
You need-
Coca-Cola, he means by that.
You need,
too,
you need to
obviously.
get on the vodka, mate. That's what you're needing.
Straight.
Straight.
Just straight vodka.
G4 pints.
Yes.
Right, we'll start with Celtic then, because they were first up on the card this evening. Going into the game quickly, McGinley, what were your thoughts? What did you expect? Did you expect a result? What was the kind of feeling?
I don't know. A couple of days before the game, I was like, "Is this going to be damage limitation? We've got a team that want to go out and win the group and win it quite comfortably." But the closer we got to the game, the more confident I was, because of the vein of form that we've been in after the first Bayer Leverkusen game. But do you know, I would have really taken a draw, but do you know, I'm not too disappointed with the result. I'm not too sad about it, because I've seen the way we played.
The first game, Div, at Celtic Park, I mean, the scoreline didn't really reflect the game. Celtic battered Leverkusen in that first game, if you remember. The amount of chances they had on the night. Well, certainly the first half.
Celtic, I think Celtic did
How many
really
chances
well.
did they have that
They
night? They had
created-
5 or 6 top chances.
There was, in terms of shots in total, there was only 2
Kyogo had a
separated the
couple.
other team. It was like 16 and 18.
But
or
I think the
something
quality
like
of Celtic's chances was...
that. We had some massive chances, yeah.
So
They should have scored a
they
couple
knew
at
they,
least.
they
aye.
knew they could get at them going into this. You've obviously seen the highlights. They had a good start.
See, no, they did indeed.
Apart from the first goal that went in.
Just going back to the last game that they played.
I haven't watched the game,
4-0.
by the way. So I'm just clarifying that.
Just wing it, mate.
I just did the Peter Grant thing of saying we had a good start when
Yeah.
we're 2-0 down in 10 minutes.
I know. I had to go back to the last one, watch that. As you say, Celtic had opportunities, but I remember just sitting back and going, wow, like Leverkusen are a team that would probably finish third, maybe fourth in their Champions League group, and they just look brilliant. You know, obviously that night Celtic should have got a couple, but they were well deserving of the win. I seen the first half of the game the night, and I thought Celtic they done really well. They obviously go behind for the corner. I think you were saying it was Ralston that possibly lost his man. Stephen Welsh
Yeah,
tried
but
to.
it's lost in a wee crowd of players.
Yeah,
It's one
it's-
of those ones you see.
It's,
You can't
it's
really
quite
do
it's
anything
quite a
about
poor one to concede away from home, but Celtic did well to gather some momentum, and from a jot across, I believe they get a penalty, and it's a dead cert. Like when I seen the replay,
Yeah.
Oh God, he's broken in half.
he could have been killed.
It
could've
really
killed
could
him.
have been killed, yeah. But he was putting his thumbs up like 2 seconds after, so I was like, he's alright.
How important was it to get that goal before half time though? Because it kind of
Yeah,
changed things a little bit.
It definitely did. It gave us a boost in the second half, but obviously getting that goal right before half time, because we'd been feeling our way into the game a wee bit more. The first 10-15 minutes I thought Leverkusen were playing really, really well, but then we started feeling our way into it. We were getting our passing game going. Beaton was kind of pulling the strings in the midfield. He's been brilliant recently. His contract's up in 2023. We might need to do something about that. Absolutely mental. But that goal going into half time was absolutely pivotal. Obviously we needed to keep, because it was about 5 or 6 minutes before half time after we scored that goal. It was so important that we went in level, because if we'd have went in 2-1, then the heads could have went down, and that would have been the best thing.
What a goal
Let's
it
talk
was.
about it. But I mean, first of all, my bone to pick with this was John Hartson in the commentary said, "When have you ever seen anything like that?" When talking about the goal, the World Cup final, pretty much the
Last
exact
season?
same goal. Where was he? But in terms of like it hitting the bar, and just, it was like exactly like Zidane's in 2006 World Cup final.
They
But
actually
Hartson
said
was
that.
like, "When have you ever seen that before?"
They said that in the radio. I actually thought it was going to be a Cummins penalty. See, as it left his boot, it turned into a Zidane, but it looked like it was floating a wee bit.
Must have been shite.
He'd have been very relieved for that to hit the underside of the bar and go in, but it went in.
I thought he'd missed it, honestly. I thought it was just going to hit off.
It takes some balls to do that, doesn't it?
Juranovic is like that though. He's done that. He's
got
very,
a bit about
very
him.
confident. Obviously, he's a Croatian internationalist, but he's just came into the team. He's got this bit of a swagger about him. Even his debut in the Celtic Rangers game, I know he played at left back. He was one of our best players that day, and it shows that he's willing to fight for the team, and he can take that sort of fire.
Yeah, I mean, the balls of steel to take that. Just interestingly, had he chipped that over the bar, where does the Celtic penalty argument go from there after the why was Juranovic not taking? Imagine he'd gone and done that.
It was a protest.
Get Giacomakis back on
The
them.
big conspiracy starting. They meant it.
It doesn't take us much to do
But
that.
at half time, so Andrew's got them at half time 1 each. He'll be very, very happy with that. I thought the bits that I did see, I thought Celtic, they looked alright in the ball. I don't know if I saw a little bit of stuff on Twitter. I want to get your thoughts on this, but the centre half's been criticised for maybe not being as confident, like walking into midfield and taking it out. They were kind of wanting to get rid of it quick. I don't know. I don't know.
I thought they were alright. I think people are just being a wee bit too picky. You've got to look at the opposition we were playing against. Leverkusen are a very, very good team.
Yeah, exactly.
And when they press you, there is so much pressure on Carter Vickers and Welsh, who I thought both had good games. It's at the time when Carter Vickers picked up his booking, which means he's out for Betis. It was a bit of a travesty because you're like, oh, he can't play, but now it looks as if it's going to be a rest because the game's there's nothing to play for.
That one, isn't he? Him and Dane Murray at the back.
Julian could be back by then, so we can.
Ooh, I keep forgetting he exists.
Julian.
Yeah.
Would I be right in saying Celtic are eliminated for the Europa League now?
Yeah, we're away. Yeah, that's us away for
This
the
is
Europa
away.
League. Yeah, but we're in the Conference League,
Into
so
the
it's not too
conference.
bad. We'll win that.
Did
So it's all
Gigpod
good.
do that tonight? Did they do a Celtic away?
I don't think they did.
This
No,
distasteful.
They've got to keep it up. You can't.
I know.
pick and
I
choose.
know. Do you know they've been on some form recently? You've got.
They
to
have.
say.
They're first the thing with everybody. Second half. I mean, what a goal the second goal is. I mean,
I think you need to talk about the save for Joe Hart first. I mean, we were talking about them, but he needs to.
You do if you watch the game and you know what happens.
Yeah,
I've seen
actually
the
kind
highlights of the second half.
Save myself,
But that was a big save because I think it was like the 50th minute or so. He made the double save, and then the next highlight
that one.
he's putting it up the park for Celtic to ultimately get the goal. I thought
Was that off of that save?
it wasn't off of that
No.
save, but it was a couple of minutes after.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
if he doesn't make that save, Leverkusen get the goal when their tails are up, and it's going to be hard for Celtic to kick back. But after that, it gets up the park. I thought Beaton actually messed it up,
Yeah, me
and the
too.
boy slipped, and then they put it off over to Jota, who put it in the back of the net.
Who was the player that it hit off of for Leverkusen?
Frimpong, yeah.
Yes, it was.
Did it hit his hand?
I thought it did, but
Looked
looking
like
back,
it-
I don't know if it
looked
hit
like
his
it- I don't
midriff
know
or
if
that. But you've got
What
to
a
give
finish.
Yeah, the finish is phenomenal. But you see this it's Kyogo. He kind of turns and passes at the same time. Yeah, like players last season, like Edward, he couldn't have done that. Kyogo's just on a different wavelength. He's so much quicker than other players, technically and mentally as well. It's a great wee layoff into Jota, and Jota's just a phenomenal finisher at the moment. I think that's 7 goals now he's got for the team.
He has.
In all comps,
Yep.
it's not bad.
And when did he came in right at the end? He was deadline day, wasn't it?
It's
Yeah.
basically September.
He has been fantastic. We were talking about it. I think he's one that will probably move on. Celtic need to pay the money. They can't make the same mistake they've made in the past with likes of McGinn and not pay the money because they'll regret it if they don't. What a player he is. At 2-1, I mean, it was almost too good to be true, and it turned out to be too good to be true, didn't it?
Yeah, it was
Typical Celtic away in Europe.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of criticism online about the substitutions that we made. We took the three big boys off. We took Forrest, Kyogo, and Jota off,
Right.
and Beaton because
Done a
Beaton was injured.
Done a Davy McCallum.
But is that because the subs were shite or because Celtic squad depth's shite?
I'd say it's the former because the subs were awful when they came on. They've got to come on and do a job, but they're not on the same wavelength as
It's
those
like
three that came off.
who else should he have brought on?
There is no one else who could.
That's
So
the
what
thing,
were the
isn't it?
subs?
So the subs were Kyogo was off for a Yeti, which we've not seen a Yeti in donkeys. Jota for I think it was Mikey Johnson, who had a really, really bad game, and Forrest for Abada. Now Abada's unfortunate because he's usually with Jota and Kyogo, so he usually gets in
To be
sort of three
fair,
goals.
Abada's been starting most games, and Mikey Johnston's came on to a wee bit of a game.
Has he?
I've seen Celtic fans saying that he's been impressive. He's done okay.
He got a chance right before the international break, and he didn't really take it that much.
No?
No. He was good when he came on as a sub against Ferencváros, because that was the home game. He really looked like he was hungry. He looked like he chose violence in that game, basically, because he looked really, really dangerous whenever he was on the counter-attack. But it's just, he's very, very inconsistent. And the problem is his inconsistencies and his injuries put together.
Yeah, he's not going to get... Like, when Forrest came back in a couple of weeks ago, he came off the bench, everyone was like, oh my God, he's shite. But he's been back off a long layoff. Of course he's going to look shite. These guys need time. And Johnstone, whether he'll get time or not, I'm not so sure. But, I mean, yeah, it's a tough one. But the mental thing is... I actually want to talk a little bit about Forrest, because before we come to the collapse that happened towards the end, how did Forrest do? And I said on a show about a month ago that Celtic's best front three was Forrest, Kyogo and Jota, and this was before Forrest was back. Now it seems to me like Ange might be of the same opinion.
I thought he was okay. He was causing a wee bit of problems. There was a chance that he got to that I don't know, maybe he wasn't as pacey and he couldn't get to the ball when he pushed it ahead. I thought he was okay. He was causing enough problems. I don't know, between the two, between Abada and it depends what situation you're in, really, because I would prefer playing Abada at home, because you've got more space to play. But Forrest's, I mean, you've seen on Saturday, he got the winning goal. He's got goals in him. But the thing about Forrest, and I've said this before with wingers, they've got a really short shelf life. You've seen that with some top players. He's in his 30s now, so we've got to really be sort of managing his game time, I would say.
Yeah, it's like 2-3 years left at a good level.
I would say so. Yeah.
Right, let's come on to the two Leverkusen goals. Div, your thoughts?
I'm trying to remember them for the highlights. I can
Ryan
only remember the
McGinley,
third
one
one.
of them.
The second one was... Can you talk us through that, Ryan? To refresh my memory.
I'm trying to think of it.
Oh no, we've had a mare here, boys.
Someone
The
get
I
first
can
one-
just
the first
remember
one-
the winner.
The first one, it's James McCarthy doesn't get to his man quick enough, and
See-
the guy slots it in.
See, in his pre-match, when he signed his press conference at the start, and he's played a couple of games. That was him like predicting his Celtic career,
I
wasn't it?
think he's as mobile
Played
as
a
Brendan
couple of
Rodgers as
games.
well, by the way.
Oh, by the way, I mean, shock horror that giving James McCarthy a 4-year deal was a bad bit of business.
If that was
Christ Almighty!
if
Poor
that was
lad.
the one that got Don Mackay out of his job, then maybe he deserved
Was
it.
that not Lowell signing? Was that not the whole point?
I think it was a Desmond signing,
Oh,
to be
well,
honest. Come
yeah.
on, Irish Premier League
4
player.
years.
He's for Casamilk.
I know. Aye.
But on the winner,
He's got a wee touch of the Ed
it
McGee,
drops to the boy at the edge of the box.
You can't
He-
give
he makes-
Diaby that.
Nah, he's a top player, isn't he? He makes good contact with the ball, but as we were watching the highlights, we thought maybe Joe Hart could do a wee bit better. I don't think he shifts his feet fast enough, and it takes a couple of bounces before it goes in. It's quite central, but it is a good strike, to be fair.
To balance it out, he did have a good game.
I
though.
don't want to
He
slag
did.
him too much, because he kept us in the game for a lot of it.
It's one of those where you need your...
That's a good finish. as
You need
well.
your defenders to help your goalie out there, because the goalie's done enough to bail it. It's like the Alan McGregor thing. How many times have we
A
seen
couple of
that?
routine saves. I
Every-
thought it was one.
Yeah,
decent
but how many
save.
times is like McGregor made save? Like the Hearts game when he fucked up, and it was like, well, how many times has he bailed you out? You need to bail him out for once, and the defenders didn't do that with Joe Hart tonight. But yeah, you said to us you're not feeling too disappointed because the performance was good. Now, normally after a Celtic capitulation in Europe, everyone's like, oh my God, life's so shit, we are fucking awful, get everyone to fuck. It's a completely different reaction tonight.
Yeah, I think last season sort of grounded a lot of Celtic fans, and we can see the positive steps that we're taking game by game. Now, to feel unlucky to only get like a narrow defeat at the Bayer how do you say that? Bayer Arena. That's a very, very difficult word to say, especially for a Scottish guy. To only lose by a single goal in Germany, like, come on, look at how far we've got
It's
in 5-6 months.
a country that Celtic have never won in as well. So going toe to toe with Bayer Leverkusen,
Yeah.
it does just go to show you how far they have came.
I mean, I'm still
They're a
disappointed.
top team, Leverkusen.
I know we only had 10 minutes to go and we could have won the game, but at the same time, the cream, these teams always manage to find a way. Yeah, and Diaby, he's playing for the French national team. He's a top quality player. And you've seen that guy coming on as well. They've got subs that they can bring on, like Amiri, who looks like a really, really good player whenever I've seen him. And we bring on guys like Ayeti. I mean, it's
Do you remember that weird phase in pre-season where he was captain in the team, and everyone was like, this is gonna be his year.
We really were scraping the barrel for positives at that point. We've got a lot more positives now, which is great.
Not very good. Just finally, because I want to move on really quickly because I don't want to be here all night. Last time we were here, what was it, 4 a.m? I didn't get to bed till not that me and Div were in bed together. Wow. Maybe tonight.
3 a.m. then I was back up straight away.
But the Celtic backline tonight, you've got Ralston, you've got Welsh, you've got Kartovickers and Juranovic. Now, where Celtic will want to be in terms of their squad, I would argue that only one of those positions across the back four is probably where Ange wants it to be. So you've got Juranovic at left back, who he doesn't want to be at left back.
Yeah,
he wants him to be at right back. That makes the right back position not what he wants. And Welsh is not. They want Starfelt in there. So 3 out of the 4 back four positions tonight weren't, where Celtic will hope to be in 6 months, a year's time.
Yeah.
So there is that kind of thing. Well, if they do go and build and they do go and back him, things will improve, especially defensively.
Yeah, definitely. I hope in January he does get back and we get 3 or 4 quality signings in, because I think that was one of the main reasons why we did capitulate tonight. Our squad depth just isn't there. We've got guys that are coming on that really shouldn't be playing, that can't play the football that Ange wants to play. They don't fit, especially players like Ayeti and McCarthy. McCarthy was not an Ange signing, that is for sure. He just doesn't fit in whatsoever.
He's no legs, he can't move.
He looks as if he's playing in a testimonial every game, which sounds terrible, but he's just so immobile, and I'm not talking about Ciro because he can't move at all. No, we need 3 or 4 good players in there. I would say Patrick Berg, but I think the boat's, I think that ship's sailed with him, to be honest. I think loads of big teams are looking at him now. So if we were going to get
Wanyama back on loan,
you're talking about
he's
immobile players.
Dying for it.
Probably
Snoddy,
does.
get him up the road. He'll be gagging for it.
Signed for us.
Yes,
too.
Snoddy.
He's been wanting signed for about 3 years, hasn't he?
Him and James McLean.
Oh, you've got to get James McLean in.
No, we really.
Who else? Who else? You need Robbie Brady.
He's
another one.
I get Brady
comes
in.
on that list. Right. Any other final thoughts on that game? From either of you?
I'm not too disappointed, to be honest. I'm a tiny bit disappointed, but at the same time,
there's a lot of positives.
There is plenty of positives.
Conference League is going to be interesting because there's a chance of a real good run in that.
Yeah, we'll just put out Conte's Spurs.
Yeah,
if they even get through,
they get beat to win, haven't they?
They get beat tonight.
They get beat last minute.
Shambles. Right, let's move on to the game at Ibrox tonight. Div, who's come dressed for the occasion. Happy man.
Absolutely. It was like a new team. It wasn't even like the team for last year.
Mate, I know what it feels like, mate. I've seen it the last couple of weeks. Sorry.
The 3 of us know how that feels.
Absolutely. I was a little bit tentative going to the match because you just don't know what to expect. Going into it, I was thinking, who comes out of the team, who goes in the team, all the rest of it.
You wanted
We're looking for wholesale.
Didn't you?
I did, going into the game, but ultimately that's not what the manager picked. I think he made 2 changes. That was Bassey coming in at centre half and Hadji coming into the 3. Interestingly, he changed the shape. It was a 4-2-3-1 as opposed to a 4-3-3. The things that stood out to me straight away, when you think about a Steven Gerrard Rangers, your 2 midfielders or your 3 midfielders do quite a lot of work, don't they, in covering for the full-backs, getting out, going, teaming up with the full-back. Interestingly, in this, it was your wingers or your 3 that were working back straight away. You notice it because you see Ryan Kent in positions that you don't normally see him in, working back. So that was a change that he's implemented straight off the bat, and it worked really well. And also, with that free playing, it was a lot more attacking. So you were seeing more chances, and that happened literally in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Where Rangers had a big opportunity. So yeah, it was positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Morelos, who was absolutely slaughtered.
He was one that I was calling for not to play.
It was actually I was surprised to see him in the team. I was actually surprised. I know you said there was 2 changes. I thought there would be a couple more. To be honest, I was a little bit surprised because if Gerrard had picked that team, none of us would have raised an eyebrow. And normally when new managers come in, they like to make, like Yogi's certainly done this. You chuck in guys like you would never, any excuse for me to name drop them.
Yeah, I know.
You would chuck in guys that no one expects. Where I was like, okay, he's kind of going Morelos and that, fine. But he did the business. European nights, he's just a different animal, though, isn't he?
Aye, but so far this season, out with maybe the Malmo game, he hasn't been.
And his European record for Rangers must be phenomenal.
No, he's Rangers' European leading goal scorer.
Yeah,
a lot of them have been in qualifiers and such, so I don't know how much you can compare it to Big Ali McCoy's. But there's a famous story about Walter Smith when he took over for Paul Le Guen where he went up to Chris Boyd, who's been dieting quite a lot. He's told the story. He'd been off the Chineses and that, and he went up to him and basically went, "Wee man, you need to get yourself back on them because you'll know the Chris Boyd." I think hopefully Big Mackay did the same with Alfredo,
so
and his first conversation, "Fanny boys, get yourself back in the box. Stop playing like Roberto Firmino. Play like a striker." And it's crazy how absolutely.
So pre-match, Big Roy Mackay and Alfredo were in the Govan McDonald's drive-through for a fucking £quarter meal. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you.
Nice.
The first conversation. Stop trying to play as a CDM, me man. That's no you. That isn't you. He rolled more defenders in the first half than he's done in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
And in that game, it was good.
It was causing them bother. That's what he was doing. He was really good.
I had a joke in my head there, but now I've tried to spit it out 4 times. It's not going to be funny. So, just McGinley, your thoughts on what you've seen? Did you watch the game?
I did, yes.
Nice. So you tell me a little bit what you thought. First half, the start, the first goal.
I was pretty impressed. Yeah, there was a lot more attacking. Obviously, Aribo playing in that attacking midfielder's role. I think he suits there so much more. I think. Because he can bring that wee bit of pace in that position. I think he's wasted out wide, yeah, me too. It was similar to sort of Christie when he was playing out wide, although he done well at the start of this season.
Wasted's probably a bit harsh because he's still good out there.
Yeah,
he's still very good, but less effective maybe.
I think he's so silky. I love watching Joe Aribo, and I'm a Celtic fan. It's mental to say that, but he's so good to watch. He is so good to watch.
He's been Rangers Player of the Year by a country mile so far.
I would say so, yeah.
But yeah, I'm guessing so Aribo was obviously the one noticeable difference that you saw.
The players that really stood out to me were your man Alfredo that we spoke about. He obviously gets the 2 goals. He looked like the Alfredo of 18 months ago or so before they started trying to change him up. Glenn Kamara in the midfield
was great as well.
Was really good. And also I thought Bassey at the back, who has had, I think he's played maybe once or twice at centre half for Rangers, and he's looked a bit of a bomb scare. You look at me and go, he's never a centre half.
Can't hit it.
But in this game, he was commanding in the air. He was first to every ball. I don't think he lost a challenge.
He's quite quick as well, by the way.
He's very quick.
Fucking monster.
Very mature as well in his approach. He never dived in. We've seen Leon Balogun do it against Hibs, dive in and get turned inside out like a plastic bag. He never did that, so it was a very mature performance for big Calvin Bassey.
And how did his centre half partner do after the week he's had?
Goldson pretty much just did what he kind of always does. Most of the time Goldson's pretty solid. He's got a mistake in him now and again, but most of the time he's pretty solid. Like we spoke about it in the last podcast, he did come out and he made outlandish claims. It was ridiculous, obviously, but Leon Balogun was much worse than he was.
Yeah.
You know, so
he actually took the heat a bit off Balogun.
He did,
big time.
Done him a favour, man.
So second half, talk to me about the change that happened on the hour mark. Was it?
Yeah, it was. Firstly, before that change did come in, Rangers should have been about 2, 3, 4 up at that point. Yeah. Ryan Kent had a couple of opportunities, even in the first half. Joe Aribo's got to score. He even had the crossbar. So Rangers should have been about 3 or 4 up by the time that the second goal even went in. But interestingly, I thought the game was crying out for Ryan Jack, and I don't know if it's because Gio's maybe seen enough of him and he's been looking who's played this season and such, and he might not know everything that he's got in his locker. We know he's a top player, but I think he's going to need to work to try and get back in, because he chose Scott Arfield to come on in front of him, he chose Lundstrom to come on in front of him. But anyway, that's a different story. I was looking over and I was expecting Ryan Jack to come onto the field, and then I realised that's Nathan Patterson. That's Nathan Patterson over there. And he ends up bringing Nathan Patterson on from Yanis Hadji and playing him in that free. And he did really well. He neutralised their left side, basically. He covered Tav when he had to. They complemented each other really well. And it's something that Gerrard didn't have the balls to do for I don't know how long. He's come in and he's did it in his first game. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was saying to David on the way over as well. For Gio, for that to be his first substitution, what's Patterson been doing in training? And to bring him on as a winger or part of the free?
He's got to play. Because if he doesn't start playing, he's going to go. And it'd be mental to lose him, because he is fantastic.
Do you push Tavernier further up then?
I would just drop Tavernier personally, but
probably.
Can he drop the
even tonight, he can.
No. Patterson's a bit. Is he a better player than Tavernier? Maybe that's a bit early to say that, but I think he certainly will be.
He will be.
He's got the potential to be. Yeah.
So what age is Tavernier?
29-30.
Yeah, Patterson, a much better player at 29-30 than
Yeah.
Bellingham is. I don't know. It's a tough one, and he is the captain. And I know he's he's come in for a bit of stick recently, but
That's a
he was very good last year. I think we're forgetting that. Let's talk about the second goal. I watched the highlights in here before we started recording, and I was pissing myself.
What they do.
Just
It's a very audible laugh from
because
them.
you kind of see them. Is it Aribo that presses the defender, or is it Kent? I don't know. Whoever presses the defender.
Probably Kent.
And then you're like, right, he's just going to put it back to the goalie, slice the clearance or something. But he just puts a pinpoint ball into the box for Morelos.
He's trying to get signed, didn't he?
Oh, Christ almighty, it was superb. He wants a shot on the right wing for Rangers. He knows that spot's up for grabs.
He's going, that's up for grabs,
He's
man.
like, I can cross
it.
to Morelos like this, I'm getting that.
Watch this, boys. Bang, right now. Draggy bun it.
Yeah, and it was 2-0. And it probably you thought that was 3 points, but again with the goal difference thing, it kind of...
It was always win by 2 goals,
Yeah.
no matter how it was done, 2-0, 3-1, 4-2 or whatever. So it was still a wee bit squeaky bum time, but Rangers should have been out of sight. Like it should have been 3-4-5, like the game should have been done. The actual game itself was done. Like Sparta were never going to win that game. But if they'd scored, that was it. It meant Rangers would have had to went to Leon and have got something for the game. They started to get some opportunities, and then right in like the 86th, 87th minute, Alan McGregor just pulls out Alan McGregor
I want
save.
to bring up a conversation we had, well not a conversation but a comment I made in the car for the last recording when I said I think he might be done.
Yeah.
I think he might be done.
He still made some
I would
big
just like to
saves
point out
this
Dev
season.
didn't overwhelmingly refute that claim. He didn't say I was completely wrong.
I still think he will retire though in the season. I don't think he's done in terms of whatever. But
listen, I just what a save. The second one's the big one.
with a phalange.
Ooh. Yeah,
Superb.
Because the first one's a great save, but he's kind of got to save it. If he doesn't save that, you're thinking, what the fuck? But the second one is just like...
That's what you've come to expect from McGregor, though.
It
Yeah.
just
Game after
reminded
game.
me. It probably wasn't as good tonight. It wasn't, but it reminded me of his save against Werder Bremen in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup
2008.
in 2008. 1-0 away. If it's 2-1 in aggregate at that point, it's a tap in for the boy, and he just comes out of nowhere and saves it onto the crossbar. And I think if they go and get that second goal, they're going to win the game, and Rangers don't ultimately get the final. It reminded me of that straight off the bat because of how did they save that shot
He had that
factor.
save against Standard Liège last year. They did that worldly save
Aye,
away from home.
but
That was
the Werder Bremen one is just numero uno.
because of getting to the...
No, numero uno, mate. That's like Andy Gorham level save, that one. That was crazy.
Fair enough. Right, if Sparta had got that goal towards the end and Rangers would have not qualified tonight, having had Sunday, I know Van Bronckhorst was in and initially there was brilliant, he was in. Sunday put a bit of a dampener on that. Had they conceded that goal, what do you think the kind of mood would be amongst Rangers fans tonight? Because I think it's vital that they got that 2-0 win tonight. Like that's
Probably.
it's
There
such
would have
fine
been
lines in
some.
football.
It would have been a split. There'd have been some disheartened at the fact that Rangers hadn't qualified, but then there would have been others looking at the performance overall and saying, well, they should have been absolutely out of sight. The change of shape, the in-game substitutions for the manager were top as well, and the amount of chances that they created, like all season, Rangers have looked stale. They didn't in this one, and again we'll go back to first 20 seconds they probably should have scored. So you would have probably seen a split there, I think.
Yeah, it would have been one of those instant reaction would have been devastated, but in the morning you would think, in the balance of it wasn't too
Would have
bad.
been.
Right, so Rangers, well, both teams are going to be in European football after Christmas, which is something we wouldn't have said this time last year if things had gone this way. Right, let's go on to the weekend's games in the SPFL Premiership, because obviously the Scottish Cup is back.
You skated over one of the midweek games in the Premier League.
Oh shit, we need to talk about that.
You need to talk
this
about
is
Hibs.
the most Hibernian thing ever.
After that T-shirt as well.
The T-shirt is...
That's embarrassing.
I wonder, did they look happy on Wednesday night?
No.
That's my question. Blair Spittle gets his goal. I read a stat
It's a
about him.
cross, you know.
What was the stat about him? Was it like his 100th county game or something? Maybe that's wrong. But yeah, Ross County win. First of all, because I don't want to spend too much time on this game because I want to get to the weekend, but it's a massive win for Ross County.
Huge.
But they're not really the story though, because it's all about the Hibs.
Aye, absolutely. Just on County. A lot of people going into the game when it should have happened out with the COVID outbreak thought County would get something out the game, and when you actually look at it in the grand scheme of things, Hibs league form, it's just been atrocious in the last 5 games or so.
They've lost the past 5 games.
Yeah,
Is
so I
it?
think it's
Definitely.
Definitely. Lost,
So that's crazy, and then add that up with the fact that Martin Boyle got a straight red card after the game, Christian Doidge got a straight red card. They now miss 3 games,
And now-
which means they
What
miss.
happened there? I never heard.
So the Doidge one, I think it's quite harsh, to be honest with you. He kicks the ball, he doesn't see the guy on his blind side, he kicks the ball and kind of falls through in the midriff, and he gets a straight red card. I don't think it's a red card personally, but I don't know. And the second one, it was after the full-time whistle, so Boyles went up to the referees, had a word, the refs basically probably told him to bolt, and then he said something else, and he gave him a straight red.
Wow.
So it would have had to have been very severe in what he said. I don't know what he said there,
Now,
but
I said to you in the way in, I almost think this is more damaging than a defeat on Sunday would have been for Hibs, because
Probably.
their league form is on its arse so much, right? Kevin Nisbet, who I thought did alright on Sunday, has been pretty shit this season.
Been awful.
They've been so buzzing about getting Christian Doidge back because he can revitalise that front line, give them a different option, and now he's fucking suspended. Martin Boyle scored a hat-trick at Hampden on Sunday, is now fucking suspended, and these guys can't win a game to save themselves in the league. So it's going to be, I mean, Jack Ross, I think, has been on thin ice with the Hibs fans for a long time now.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of fans saying Jack out after the
but
game.
They decided that in November last year after the cup defeat.
The cups.
So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting couple of months, and I think they might miss the game against Rangers.
they will, yeah.
Which will be interesting. Right, let's move on to the weekend. There was one fixture that caught my eye straight away because of Hearts St Mirren at Tynecastle, and it just there's a lot of needle there. Because obviously, remember when Hearts got relegated, it was that Obika goal on the Wednesday night, the last game before COVID. Obika relegated the Jam Tarts.
I miss Obika.
Yeah, great song.
What a man.
Obika, yeah. Right, so we talked. Adam's co-host on Perth Paisley, Daniel McIver, tweeted us tonight, me and you, saying he was glad to see us put Adam in his place because we gave it him tight about Hearts and Robbie Nielsen. Because Adam was basically everything's shite, and we're like, mate, you're third in the league, you've just been newly promoted, you're flying, calm down.
He's got high standards.
They've lost 2 games now.
Actually, I liked getting into that wee bit.
Yeah, it was good. We served him. We served him.
I thought we did, to be fair.
But Hearts host St Mirren. St Mirren, who now find themselves in the top 6 after a slow start, are now in the top 6. McGinley, what are your thoughts about that one?
Should be a good game. Hearts will obviously be looking to go back on form. You would expect Hearts to win that, surely, at Tynecastle. But, I mean, St Mirren are on form recently. They're getting into the top 6.
Hearts were pretty woeful last weekend too.
They were, but do you know, they come back in these games and you'd think that they'd sort of regroup and get a good result.
That would be the thing, Dev. I wouldn't expect Hearts to have 2 poor performances in a row. I think they've shown a level of consistency this season that they're not going to do that. And even when they find a way to get points, that's the one thing I'll say about them. Yeah. Even when they don't play that well, they do find a way, especially at home.
Guys like Adam will be watching this game, you know, with their eyes wide open, seeing if they do bounce back.
Adam's praying for them to get humped.
If they get humped, they'll be like, I fucking told you, boys.
Get him to fuck.
But I just think this Hearts squad squad's pretty strong, and I think they will bounce back. St Mirren don't score a hell of a lot of goals, although they scored a absolute topper in the last game. And expecting Boyce to come back in for the start as well. And he makes a big difference for Hearts.
Big difference.
You watch him, he just looks a level above. He's a top striker, so I think he will make a big difference. I think Hearts will come out on top here.
They have got options as well, Hearts.
But it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if St Mirren got something for the game.
It's kind of maybe not a free hit, but the pressure's off St Mirren big time. They can go there, and they'll try and play, and that's the thing that I like. It'll be good when they'll go and try and play, and they'll see what happens. I think Hearts will probably just edge it though. I can't see it being convincing because I just don't like
the last home game they battered Dundee United 5-2.
But they could have conceded more than they did.
I bet they could have scored 3.
Yeah, they could have scored 10.
That's what we said before.
Yeah, they're a strange one. I think they will win, but I can see St Mirren have a good go of it. Right, let's go on to St Johnstone Hibernian, which is, oh my god, I'm checking these fixtures and it's saying tomorrow because I realise we're now on Friday.
Yeah, it's mental.
St Johnstone Hibernian, which is a repeat of the Betfred Cup fight. Was it the Betfred Cup final last year, or was it Premier Sports?
I think they done them the semi and the final, did they not?
Aye, but I'm trying to remember, is this year the first year of the Premier Sports Cup? It was Betfred Cup last year, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was.
Aye.
Yeah, so, they beat them in the Betfred Cup final and they beat them in the Scottish Cup semi-final at McDiarmid Park. St Johnstone are winning this.
They will. They do. They just have Hibs' number. They do, especially with Boyle's going to boot. Doidge is going to, apart from Rangers. Doidge is going to boot as well, and I just think this is a classic Davidson masterclass 1-0.
If St Johnstone do win it, do you think Jack Ross will get the sack?
No,
I don't think he'll get the sack. I think that him getting to the League Cup final is bought him a good bit of time.
He's getting the final,
but when you do, if they do go and get beat here, they're already 7th in the league. and their next game after this is against Rangers.
And how much have we talked this season about the top 6 and how it's going to be so tough for teams to get in there? And we've assumed Hibs will be one of those teams.
I know.
There's no reason we should be doing that, actually. If you think about where Hibs have been in the last 10 years, they spent 3 years in the Championship.
Yeah, 3.
Look at Hearts. Hearts went down to the Championship, twice in the last decade.
Last season as well, there was a big thing made out of them finishing third because it was the first time since 2006 or something.
And
something crazy.
You've got Dundee United, who I think will definitely finish in the top 6 now. Hearts
Really,
are definitely
really
going to finish the top 6.
impressed
I think
with
Aberdeen will finish in the top 6.
It's so
And then
tough.
you've got
It's
St
so
Mirren, St Johnstone.
competitive.
That's mental though that we're saying Aberdeen will finish in the top 6. Usually it was 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
But this is what we said when McInnes got sacked. When McInnes got sacked, they didn't realise how good they had it.
He was like Aberdeen's Arsene Wenger. Guaranteed third
Yeah,
or fourth.
that's
Do you think Aberdeen have got a Claude and a tie?
Got a what, sorry?
A Claude from Arsenal and DB and tie.
Oh,
one was
definitely,
Mad
actually.
Wenger in, one was Mad Wenger out.
Aye.
But
There's got to be one.
Look at that Pingu. Tweets about Aberdeen.
Aye, Pingu.
yeah.
Aye.
You see no comment on some of the stuff on here as well?
Don't know.
Comment, Pingu, if you're watching.
Noot. Right. I'm going St Johnstone though, yeah? What are you thinking?
I'm going to go St Johnstone because they seem to have his number most times they play.
Considering the players that are out, yeah, you've got to go for St Johnstone.
Jack Ross,
as well.
read it and weep, full house.
Also, I noticed Porteous didn't play. Was that a suspension or?
Did he look happy? I don't
Too
know,
happy
mate.
to play.
You're assuming I've done any research before the show. I was stacking shelves an hour ago. I wasn't actually. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was finished an hour ago actually. I've been Christ I'm tired. Right, Ross County Dundee United at what the fuck is Ross County Stadium called now? Anyone know?
G4 Claims
G4
Arena.
Claims Studio.
Aye.
What is it called now? What a question that is.
It's always going to be
It's
Ding.
like
It's always going to be
digital-
Dingwall for
Something
me.
digital systems or something ridiculous
It's
like
not
that.
the CBD one, is it? No.
Is it
No,
the
that
Barton or
was
something?
that was Hamilton Hope CBD. It's not that now though.
But it's not the Fountain of Youth. That's
Ross
Hamilton
County
as
used
well.
to be Victoria Park, but I don't know what it's actually called now.
Mhm.
Anyway, having got a big win at home midweek, another home game, another chance for them to get another big 3 points. But I think this will be a tougher game for them
Yeah.
because Dundee United are a good side, and I just love Tam Courts to bits. That's all I
Yeah.
have to say.
I really do like Tam
I
Courts
just think
as
he's
well.
brilliant.
I think
And
he's trendy.
And
I think
I
he's.
love how much that he was written off before he even got the job, and
Yeah.
he's just gone, fuck you.
And
That's the reason that I like him so much
Yeah,
because
same here.
Dundee United could have went down the easy road, maybe got in like a
Well,
Derek
he did go
McInnes or
down the
something.
easy road. That was the thing because he was working as
I know,
But also though,
But it
on
was a
that,
left field appointment as well.
aye, on that though, if we'd actually done our research and not just went into it blindly,
Well, I mean, I knew a bit about Tam Courts. Thank you very much.
well, aye. But what he did at Celtic and the way that people talk about him
Lay
in
the
the game,
foundations for
the
what's
way that
happening
people
now.
actually do talk about him in the game, when you hear ex-players and coaches and such talk about them, they do hold them in high regard.
he was rumoured-
So it was probably very naive, like myself probably coming out and thinking that he won't do well.
I've Dundee United. Well, maybe not, but he was rumoured for the Dunfermline job when Stevie Crawford got it, and all Dunfermline fans were like, "No fucking way!" But with Kelly being in Fife, a lot of them are like, "Well, he's done magic at Kelly. A lot of what's going on there is largely down to what he did." But less of a general talk about how magic Tam Courts is at just being a brilliant human
You
being.
could imagine him in the job interview as well, though.
About Zone 14 and all
Aye.
that shit. He gets away with it. He's the only man I'll let get away with that.
Nah,
Yeah.
Until they start getting humped every week.
the chairman or the chief executive Dundee United had just been sitting there in awe.
Now, Dundee United are 2 points behind Celtic at Ryan McGinley.
Yep.
Now, Celtic are...
So if Dundee United win this one, is that on Saturday?
Yes,
they'd
they will
go ahead of Celtic.
But Celtic have got two...
Ross County are winning then.
one game in hand, actually. But that's mental, because we talk a lot about how Celtic are in a good place just under Andrew. I think they are, but it does show how well the likes of Dundee United and Hearts have
Very
done.
well.
That
Yeah.
both of them could leapfrog Celtic. Oh my
In
God, Celtic
December.
have been fourth
In
on
the-
Sunday.
I know, I was thinking that there. Aye, it could be an uncomfortable Saturday night going into the game on
I
Sunday.
think Dundee United will go second.
Yeah, so there.
No, sorry, I think they'll go third because Hearts go second.
In Hearts' last game as well, if they'd won that, they'd have leapfrogged Celtic into
I
second,
was,
didn't
I
they
was
shat
so
the
glad.
bed?
I was so glad when they done that.
You know,
I
they-
like being second at the moment. I don't like being second, but you know, no, please don't. No, but just
You want to see that, Ange Postecoglou, in your wee interviews, would you?
No, not at all. I think he'd kill me.
You get called mate, didn't
That's
you? on
fun,
fans,
did
didn't
I?
you?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing though, because he's been quite
He says
angry.
sarcastically sometimes, didn't he?
You've got to watch what
The tone.
facial expression he's making.
I did like the way
But
he
he's an absolute legend.
the way he handled that question about the allocation was very good.
Honestly, I had to hold it in. I was going to bust out laughing.
Right,
honestly.
anyway, back to Dundee United. I think Dundee United can go up there and win. There you go.
I'm going to go against the grain then. I'm going to take a wee draw here. Because potentially there is a thing with these teams out with Rangers and Celtic, well, they have this big opportunity, it might get to them, and I think it might have got to Hearts last week, and it's going to get to Dundee United this week.
I hope that's the case.
Tam Courts and Malky Mackay is the classic good guy wank scenario.
It's face heel,
It's
proper
like,
wrestling.
yeah, it is.
No, Dundee United.
Nice. Okay. Right, what else have we got in the Premiership this weekend? Obviously, we've got the 2 games on Sunday, but the last game on Saturday is at Dens Park, and it's a really interesting game, actually. Dundee will be feeling the pressure a little bit, having seen Ross County win midweek. They go to within a point, I believe. I could be wrong. Dundee are just a point ahead of Ross County now. They play Motherwell, who are in 5th. Another team I didn't even mention in that top 6 conversation earlier, who had a great win last weekend at home to Hearts. A lot of praise for how Motherwell played, actually. A lot of people were... I listened to Halliday, an open goalie, on it, and he said he'd be surprised at how they got after Hearts. Going to Dens, I think they'll fancy themselves, but it's one of these games... Every home game that Dundee have that is not against Celtic or Rangers, they've got to be thinking, right, we've got to try and get 3 points here if we're going to stay up. But I don't know what to make with Dundee this year, McGinley, because they've got firepower in that team.
I was going to say the exact same thing,
but it's just not happening.
No, they've got firepower, but there's no fire at the moment. it's not working. No, they're not getting enough goals. Griffiths isn't scoring enough goals. Obviously, Cummins in there as well.
He just needs to get his match sharpness back.
Aye.
Once he gets a run of games,
there was a poll a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, what loan player would you like to see back at Celtic? And Lee Griffiths was getting votes.
Was that the PLZ soccer one that had?
Yeah.
What was it had in it? It had somebody in it that had left permanently. No, it was. They had a new contract one. It was like, which Celtic player would you like to say a new contract? And it was like Anthony Ralston. He'd come with a new contract like 2 days before.
Yeah. Weird.
Not that we're slagging the competition. I wouldn't do that ever.
Never.
Am I bigging ourselves up a little bit too much, calling them competition? No, fuck
PLZ?
No.
Did they not buy a lot of their followers?
Views. We've had Peter Martin on this channel. He can't get too heavy on it.
I'm joking.
It's all in jest.
It's a joke.
But right, what game are we even talking about here? Dundee Motherwell. I'm going to go for a Motherwell win.
I think Motherwell will win as well, and I'm going to retract my statement for last season when we did a wee show, and I thought we'll talk about Charlie Adam in the midfield and how you says his legs had went, and I was like, well, obviously, but I think the quality. Was it McGee? I thought the quality he's got, if you can get legs around about him and stuff like that, but see, watching him against Celtic, he just looked like a fish out of water.
He's too busy bumping his gums.
For me, I think Charlie needs to come out the team.
Yeah, but he does.
And you need to get some legs in there.
You know what's mental?
And Dundee could maybe improve.
James McPake is the longest serving manager in the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah. Wow. You didn't know that last week, did you?
I didn't have a clue. Now, speaking of statements that might need retracted, there was somebody in this setup of Talk Scottish Football that really bummed up Dundee something rotten pre-season.
Where did I have them 6?
Something ridiculous like that.
James McPake will be loving that, man.
McPake ball.
Yep, McPake ball.
Do you think your pals up at Dens are going to get something this weekend?
I don't think they'll be getting 6, that's for sure. No, I can only see Motherwell winning after that result against Hearts. Can only see them going on again, getting another couple of good results. They've been quite up and down with their results, but I think they'll pull it out the bag. Right,
let's go on to Sunday. I don't want to spend too much time in these games because we've done a lot of Celtic Rangers chat beforehand. We'll focus a little bit on the opposition in these as well. What's the kickoff times? Who's it when?
Early kick-off Rangers, Livy Rangers, and then 3 o'clock Celtic.
So I tell you what, could be an interesting weekend in the title race.
Potentially Rangers go 7 clear,
or potentially Celtic go
whatever clear of Dundee United.
Celtic could go 1 behind. What's the gap? 4 points.
Yep.
If Rangers get beat and Celtic win, I know.
Could be tasty, right? So Rangers early kick off.
Awful pitch as well.
Yeah, well,
Rangers seem to deal with it though.
Yeah, you guys hate it a bit more than they do.
Yeah,
but it's a different team.
It's
a Geo team.
It's a Geo team. They like to play a wee bit more, boys.
That's good for the Astros thing. But Celtic were just shite there when Big Julian got a wee bit nervous from Lyndon Dykes when he ragdolled him.
Cannot believe he tweeted that.
Yeah, mental.
Who?
Sorry, when
Julian tweeted that he was a bit nervous in a game.
Yeah, he tweeted he was a bit nervous. Right, you'll be full of confidence because that win last night, Rangers. I think there's been a little bit of criticism this season that maybe attacking wise have not quite been at it, but the chances they created against Sparta will kind of fill you with a bit of hope. Not hope, expectation.
Absolutely, and historically it's been a good hunting ground for Rangers as well. But the more I think about it, the way that you've just relayed that to me, I am now shiting myself.
You just, in your head, you had 7
What
clear.
An introduction to Scottish football. Gio, Livy away.
on the carpet, on the
Fucking
rug, or whatever.
12 men behind the ball.
Yep.
It's just a wee guy too.
Davy Martindale, he'll be on the pitch. He'll be
The
the
same
12th
height
man.
as you, McGinley's, you know.
They probably will be, aye.
Do you know what I mean?
You seen all this patter going round? There's
What?
loads of patter going on with Celtic fans that Van Bronckhorst is like 5'2", and people are just
I looked it up, actually, he's 5'10". So
Aye.
people are just buying into it.
Somebody put it on Wikipedia before he was announced
But
as
he
the Rangers manager.
He is 5'10", right? But he looks smaller than that.
You think so?
I think he looks quite small.
I thought he looked like a giant the night standing there.
Just
on the
way
sideline.
it's
That's you enamoured with him already.
Aye, he looked like a
Wait
giant
till
of
he
a man.
breaks your heart in 18 months. That'll be something.
I know. I wait to fucking Burnley or
Right,
something.
so Rangers, you're backing Rangers to win this.
Yeah.
Comfortably?
I'm not going to say comfortably, no.
You never know what you're going to get with
I
them.
think a wee 2-0 job. I would take that. We 1-0. 1-0 will be squeaky, but a 1-0, 2-0 job.
it's gonna be
Even at the start of last season when Rangers won the league, we drew that in each turn, like the 4th game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
So it's tough.
a warm embrace and a touchline between Martindale and Giovanni, I would say.
Yes, obviously both of them very well accomplished in
Top
the
coaches.
world of football.
Yes, absolutely.
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Champions League winner.
Davy Martindale.
Under 9s player of the year. Under 9s player of the match in the Air Festival.
Yeah.
So, what a clash of cultures.
It is going to be funny though, in terms of an introduction of Scottish football being opposite from Davy Martindale.
I know.
It's gonna be like, what
I know.
the fuck am I
What was
going
it? Gio Van Bronckhorst, 3 years in Barcelona. Davy Martindale, 3 years in Berlin.
I tell you what, I did the Celtic Livy game last season, the one where Brown got sent off. I did press for that one, and I was watching Martindale, and the Jet was playing on the wing.
Mind that game. Why did they do that?
Played the Jet on the wing, right? He played on the left wing first half, and then he was just fucking screaming at him. I was pissing myself.
Mate, it
and
doesn't
then the
stop.
best thing was second half when obviously teams get switched. He switched the Jet to the other wing, so he'd be beside him as well for the second half. It was just hilarious to watch.
And he scored the winner in that game as well, did he not?
Equaliser.
Equaliser.
Yeah.
Equaliser. That was when it was all snow and all that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
have
that
you
was
got-
the one that Lennon made that face after the game as well. The,
Yeah.
it's like something out of it. It was like a Pennywise
Did Brown
face.
punch somebody or something? What did
Yeah,
he
he,
do?
one
he
of them
elbowed
ones.
a teenager basically.
Yeah, a small child, wasn't it?
It was a really, that was Ralston's only game last season.
Wow.
Crazy that, innit?
That's why Celtic were so shite. He
I
wasn't
didn't
playing
even
enough.
know that Ralston played last year.
I played
Thought
one
he was on
game.
loan at St Johnstone or something.
No, he was there the season before, maybe, I think.
God's sake.
Christ almighty. Right, how much hope have you got that Rangers will fuck this on Sunday?
Just a slight glimmer of hope, because you
You
see
always need that,
I
don't you?
mean, our team, Celtic try and play football on that pitch, and then it just doesn't work
That's
at
a game
all.
for Giacomakis when he's back. That, innit?
If his
God.
knee ever gets
Get-
sorted,
oh,
man.
that's where you don't want to play in there if the knee's fucked.
Oh, exactly.
Who was the?
Simonovic.
Yeah, Simonovic would never play in the
Aye.
plastic.
No. He's got a club now, thank God.
Does he? He's got a home. Mental how he just didn't have a club for so long.
When you think about that free though of Livingston, Dougie Emery, an absolute god of a man, Davy Martindale, a champion,
And Marvin Bartley.
and Marvin Bartley, who's just the
genuinely
best
just
guy on earth.
He's
amazing human
a
being.
phenomenal pundit as well, by
He's
the
just
way.
phenomenal at
He
everything he
is
does.
just incredible. What a free that is.
When we started TSF and me and Ryan did it in the college, I used to bum up Marvin Bartley, something rotten. And this was before he did much media work. And Ryan was like, "What is it with this guy you love so much?" But when he was at Hibs, I just thought he was amazing. Yeah, what a fella. Right, I think it's going to be 2-0 to Rangers.
I'll take 2-0.
I'll go 1-0.
To Livy.
I'll take 1-0.
Oh, to Rangers.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it will be.
Right, Sunday 3 o'clock, Celtic against Scott Brown's Aberdeen. Now,
A return.
yes,
For Brown.
is this the first time he's
Yeah.
been back?
Yeah, but I mean, we played them at Pataudry, but it's the first
Yeah,
time.
so that's going to be interesting. It'll be a big love-in.
Getting a tifo for him.
But you know what? He's the type that's going to be.
Tifo.
He'll be bang up for this. Like he will want to go there and show that he's still the man, and he's been in really good form recently.
He was the
He's actually
best
been
player.
brilliant.
I thought he was the best player in the park until he got subbed in the last game against Celtic.
He was really good at Ibrox as well that night, but then he
Aye,
played that
he
game
was.
with his fucking eyes shut. It was that easy for him that night. But he has been really, really good recently, and especially at set pieces. Have you noticed him at corners? The one where he shoved
Attacking.
Ryan, defended and attacking. Like
I know.
he's just the dark arts of football, and he's
He's
brilliant.
turned into more of an arsehole.
That's the
since
thing
he's
about
left.
Aberdeen. See, defending and attacking set pieces, especially attacking set pieces.
Yeah.
They're just incredible. Like they just work on that all week.
Which is mental, because when Stephen Glass came in, everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to play really nice attacking football and they're going to zing the ball about."
Set piece
And
merchants.
set pieces is where they've come good. Right, you're really expecting a relatively routine Celtic win at home. You would think.
I would hope so. I'm quite happy with this this because you like seeing a team like Aberdeen coming to Celtic
Say,
Park
it's
because
probably
you know
the perfect game.
it's absolutely perfect. They'll come out and try and attack us, and we'll hopefully hit them on the counter. We'll have a lot of the ball as well. Be good to be back at Celtic Park. Not been in ages. It feels like how long is that? 3-4 weeks now since I've been there.
Is that because it's not had a home game 3-4 weeks?
Aye.
It's just not been.
There hasn't been any home games. But I am really looking forward to this one. It's always good against Aberdeen. Hopefully we can get a good win.
For all that I was bumming, wow, where was that gone? For all that
Why did you stop?
You made that thing.
For all that I was bigging up Brown there, I think it's suicide
Bumming
if
up
they
Brown,
play
what a
him.
sentence.
If they play him centre half against Kyogo, I think that is.
But he's not going to get isolated though. He'll just
Mate.
pull the guys in beside him. He'll be fine.
Pull,
I don't
pull
see
who in though.
you're
David Bates, he'll be fucking. I don't know what he'll be doing.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you're going to see.
He'll be having
Also,
PTSD.
Ramsey's injured. Mackenzie's injured.
Yeah.
Ojo's got a fucking red card.
That's a good.
Aye.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was 2 yellows though, wasn't it? So he'll just miss this
But
game.
they love Ryan
actually
and
saw it,
Kieran's favourite player, Johnny Hayes, will be back. So is he back? Is he playing just now?
Well, aye, because the young boy Mackenzie was back out injured,
will
so
be playing,
he'll play.
aye.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Ramirez is a threat though. That'll be interesting to see how the Celtic defence cope with him. I'm assuming it'll be Carter Vickers and Welsh again.
I think
What's-
so.
Oh no, he said Starfelt was a maybe for the
It
weekend.
might be. It's more of a chance that Rogic will be in rather than
And he'll come straight back in, won't he?
yeah, absolutely. Especially with Beaton coming off injured. Unless they're going to play James.
Was it an
McCarthy.
injury Beaton came off with?
Yeah.
No luck, use eh?
I meant to mention this earlier. Beaton does this every year where they have to play him for like 5 games and he's magic.
He's
And
magic
he
in
ends up-
4 of them, and then the 5th one he gets sent off
But
in a big one.
he still does enough to get the new contract.
Yeah, oh, aye, absolutely. It's that testimonial against the Israeli 11 that 2 people will go to,
Can't
and one of
wait.
them
No,
will be
there'll be a lot
one of them
more
will
than
be
2.
One of them will be Neil Lennon. I guarantee
There'll
it.
be 2 in the home end, and then fucking,
Aye,
yeah. Neil Lennon's the head of that supporters club.
he's got a great affinity with
He
him.
does have a great affinity with them. Right, where the hell am I even going with this? I don't know. I think Aberdeen, it's a bit of a free hit for them. A lot of the things McInnes was criticised for was results against the Old Firm, not quite having a go at them enough. I actually think if Glass tries to have a total go, he'll get ripped to shreds on the counter attack. But they'll go with a bit of hope. But I think Celtic will win. I would be more expecting of a slip up from Rangers this weekend in Celtic. I just think being at home, I can't see Celtic losing that game.
That's mental considering the teams.
I know, but it's just
Livy at
Livy
home
away
and
is a
Aberdeen away.
If Rangers were playing exactly, it completely flips then, doesn't
Mm.
it? But yeah, no, I think Celtic will win 3-1.
I'm going to go 4-0.
Ooh.
I'm just confident in my team at home. Although I said that against Dundee United and we dropped
3-0
points.
for me. I think Celtic will crucify them, especially if Kyle goes against Brown. That would just be.
Has Brown been playing as a centre half? Did you say?
Yes.
Wow.
It was all because he injured. He
He's
played
been
centre half
brilliant.
at Ibrox and scored.
He was brilliant.
He played centre half against Hibs and they won the game. It was because of an injury. They basically have no centre halves.
centre-halves,
But
yeah.
I think that they have centre halves back now. He's been playing there. He's just been playing there now.
He's been very good there. I've been impressed from
He has been doing well, but I just think you put a big guy on him as well. Potentially, does Giamakis come back in for this?
No,
Injured.
he's still out.
Was he injured or not?
Aye, he's looking at.
Is he away as well?
He's away. He's consulting with like a knee specialist.
Oh
'cause
my
of
God.
It's just a nightmare.
It's a shit show,
Thank
innit?
God there's only one plastic pitch, man.
Right, the best cup competition in world football is back this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It is the 3rd round, I think, of the Scottish Cup. And actually,
Davy Martin was watching there, hoping you were saying the Air Festival, wouldn't he?
and as we were recording, I had to put on my trademark away day tweet because this is the day that we win away. Dunfermline kick off the Scottish Cup weekend with an away trip to Partick Thistle, THISTLE, at Firhill on a Friday night. Yogi going up against Ian McCall, his former gaffer. Going to be a very, very interesting game. Thistle have obviously had a much better season than Dunfermline. They've done really well. Thistle is coming up. But we are 2 wins from 2. And we're just flying.
There's a very good chance that some people will tune into this show as soon as it goes up, and there's a very good chance they'll be listening to this at the same time as that game's taking
Yes.
place. Go and check the score.
Corner on the right hand side
Right.
of Dunfermline, Dominic Thomas with the slippers in the house coat.
I'll
Whips it
tell you
in, there's a goal.
I'll tell you exactly what the score is at this current moment in time. Go and check the score.
0-0.
It's 0-0.
No.
Definitely 0-0.
What time would it be? About 7?
Fuck,
What
no,
time's kick-off?
it depends what your upload speed's like.
1-0 it is right now.
To Dunfermline.
O'Hara.
O'Hara won't even start, mate.
I know half a bench.
I used to go to the
Your
Celtic
mate
games.
Kev
with
O'Hara, yeah.
yeah.
Good guy, Kev.
No, genuinely though, I
he
think
might start, actually.
I think he's a win. I think it's going to be 1-0.
Well, Yeah, I mean, it's mental because we went there a few weeks ago and we drew 0-0 and we had a chance towards the end to win the game, but we were just in full granty ball mode at that point and everything was shite. But now everything's good, and I know there's a couple of supporters buses that have had to get bigger buses to go because there's a bit of an upturn and people want to go to the game, and Yogi's telling us to go and he's letting us have a beer and everything.
Training ground as well.
His promos are phenomenal.
He is just amazing. The thing I love about, I love numerous things about him, but the thing I love about him the most is how genuine he is, and like he'll speak a bit like I do when I'm rambling on the podcast, and I'll say a sentence, but I'll kind of make a mess of the sentence to get to my point. He's like so authentic in everything he does. There's no cliches. He's just kind of real, and I just love him. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not so sure if he'll win it or not. But I think there's a really good chance. But just quickly, I want to cover you mentioned it there. The film have finalised their deal for the new training ground. The plans look amazing for that. They're talking like 2 full-size grass pitches, full astro pitch, goalie training area, big indoor place, offices, gym, like the whole shebang. And there's not many clubs in Scotland that have got their own training grounds. Even you think about it, even in the top flight, there's not that many that've got the proper. That'll be a massive difference to the infrastructure of the club. We're appointing a chief exec, David Cook, who's starting, I think, relatively soon, but kind of fading in, and he'll take over next year, who's worked at Celtic, he's worked at Nottingham Forest, he's worked at Everton, he's a Dunfermline fan, so he knows the club, which is obviously a good thing, unless it's Neil Lennon we're talking about. He knows the city. So there's lots to be happy about from the Dunfermline point of view, and now we're winning on the park. But I think this will be 1-0 Pars.
I think it's written in the stars.
Lewis McCann's going to score again.
You think so?
Yeah. And then the Pars boys are going to be out in the town on Friday night, and I'll be chasing
and Firewater.
Don't know. I spoke Josh Edwards. I said that to Josh Edwards, like, it's Firewater, son. I'm just going to message Dom on Friday night. Where you at, son?
When is it?
Get the slippers on.
When is it? We're
not saying that.
Can I say that? No, it'd be too big a crowd.
December, aye.
Shut up.
1-0 to the Pals.
1-0 to Pals. Love it. Yeah. It's
Full house.
Friday night football's fucking awesome.
Which
I
is
love
3-0 Rudden hat-trick.
Oh Jesus.
The wee man for Dunfermline last year, 3 assists.
Wee Kyle Turner.
Wee Turner.
I'm just checking that there aren't actually any championship games on. The teams that aren't in the cup.
But the Bankie's playing this weekend against Clyde in Scottish Cup.
Oh yeah, fucking beauty, Deb. I think that must be on this weekend. That's
a good shout for me, boys.
I might go watch that.
I think it might be sold out. That's at Broadwood, that show.
Yeah, I might go watch that. Is that on Saturday? It is, yeah.
What time?
3 o'clock Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. You working? Mm-hmm. That would be a good one to go and do a wee feature on, wouldn't it?
McGinley, what you up to?
Go watch. Are you going to watch Celtic B team on Saturday? Because I might be going to watch Celtic B team on Saturday. They're playing Cali Braves.
Mate, you need to go and see Clyde Bankies.
Nah, me and Big Jack are going to watch the Braves.
I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, never mind Saturday.
Saturday.
Actually, I'm going into Edinburgh. I'm going to the Christmas markets on Saturday.
Bit early for that. Wait a minute, but you Google first, David.
Who are you going to the Christmas markets with?
My family.
No, he's going with his family. He's going with his family. So right. Nah. Christ, what a letdown you are, McGinley.
It's my sister's birthday.
Fair enough. I just thought you were dipping the wick, but obviously not.
Yep, I thought you were grafting.
Right, let's talk about Clyde Bank again.
Always grafting, just not really getting anywhere.
No. Don't hate the player.
It's a scouting job at the weekend just to see what it's like in it for future reference.
See where I go. See what the stalls are doing.
Aye.
There's loads of birds.
What's your chat up line?
My chat up line.
You wanting pumped?
Who's?
I am not worthy. I'll just say that, and then hopefully they'll feel sorry for me.
So that's what you want. You want like a bird that's gonna fucking sort you out.
Absolutely.
Like Serena Williams.
Serena Williams, why?
This is going back to a conversation that was had in the car on the way through that will not be repeated.
Wow.
And, it was fucking.
You better tell me that after.
He's a father. I'm telling you, it's a disgrace what he comes out with. I'm joking. You ever said in?
I is joking.
I'm definitely joking. If anyone's watching it, I don't know.
Are you?
Right, there's the Scottish Cups on this weekend. Clyde back against Clyde is one of those beautiful games. You just see it coming up. It should be on the telly.
That should be on the telly.
It should be on the telly.
I'm just laughing still.
I know.
But Bankies are going to win that.
Would be good. It would be good to see Clyde get.
What was the score with Celtic? B the other night with Clyde.
1-0. Mate, the worst refereeing decision you've ever seen.
So what was the score? 1-0?
One each. Conor Hazard gets sent off
and they get a penalty.
They get a penalty
and an undisclosed player scored for Clyde.
Yeah,
I know.
But have you seen the decision?
Yes.
It is the worst refereeing decision I've seen in a long time.
Is that worse than Bobby Madden's red card?
I can't. Yeah, it is. I can't understand. Firstly, it's about 10 yards outside the fucking box. And secondly, it's
some dive by that player that we won't discuss.
If he's given a penalty, He's then deeming that Hazard hasn't made an attempt for the ball because double jeopardy would mean that he wouldn't be sent off. Because if you make a genuine attempt for the ball,
I think it was a red card, but it was a free kick.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Did he touch him?
I think he's. I don't think he's made an
If you
attempt.
look at him, he clips his own heels.
I don't think he's made an attempt, but he's made the right call because it was through and goal, and it was a free kick.
It wasn't a penalty though.
Exactly, so it should have been a free kick.
Hazard is a hazard, by the way. He's
do you remember when like Celtics fans like standards were on their arse? And I had arguments on Twitter with people who said that he was good enough to be Celtic's goalkeeper.
Did they watch the cup final?
Did they watch like anything he's ever done in his career?
He's really not good.
He's really not good at football.
It's doing that's more highly rated.
I like.
Is he not an international footballer as well?
Who, Conor Hazard?
Aye, I'm pretty sure he gets called up.
He's in and around the Northern Ireland team, aye.
Like he's in the squad.
I know, but yeah, I know.
That's crazy, isn't it?
But some of the goalies you see that are in squads these days, Christ. I mean, you were saying this now, in 2-3 years, our goalie scene is going to be tragic. So, I mean, yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We better get through this Scottish Cup. I want Clydebank to win that because I want to see like Clydebank play at Parkhead or Ibrox. That would be some laugh.
Oh, mate.
What else have we got? Let's run through these really, really quickly. Tie of the round is probably Wraith against Falkirk, or Falkirk against Wraith, I should say, at the Falkirk Stadium.
Wraith are going to batter them.
I think Queen's Park, come on.
So I was talking about going to that, but that would mean I have to go to Firhill twice in 2 days, and I'm not sure I'm up for that. But that could be a good game. It would have been even better if Queen's Park were still flying.
Aye, if they were flying.
But let's score a prediction for that one. I think Kelly will win it, but I think it will be decent. It will be a decent game.
I think that'll be a stinky game. I think it'll be.
So?
Aye, I think it'll be in that niche.
Okay, I'm going to go. Whatever I just said. Did I give a prediction? Fuck knows, my head's away. Kelly are winning it. There is an Angus Derby this weekend up at Arbroath. Arbroath and Forfar in the Angus Derby. Yeah, that's what they're having in the hospitality. Big Angus burgers. Dick Campbell's looking forward to this one. He's obviously a former Forfar manager, and Arbroath are going to win that. But Forfar are flying in League 2 up to second now, I do believe. So it'll be an interesting game, but Arbroath should win that.
Aye, I mean, they're at home, so
they are better.
Big dick energy.
Big dick energy. There's lots of it around this table.
How do you think that? How do you think Lionel Messi would play on a Tuesday night at Arbroath?
Mate, it's a fucking it's a Friday morning at 1 a.m. I'm sitting in a studio in my Tesco uniform. I want to get home. Come on.
You don't need to go down that avenue, do we?
How do you think you would do?
Shite.
Same. I agree.
Christ almighty. Right, there's some other tasty teams that are in this. Banks of Dee hosting East Fife, which is going to be an interesting.
You want to get him and you're talking about Banks of Dee? Fuck off.
Well, I'm trying to stick to the fucking topic. Yeah, I'm going Banks of Dee to win that. East Fife have just sacked Darren Young.
East Fife will win that.
East Fife says McGinley too. Sterling Albion against Tranent. Is it Tranent or Tranent?
What? Tran? What?
Tranent or Tranent Juniors? Who? I think it's Tranent Juniors. Is it Tranent Juniors?
Don't assume.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think it's Trinent.
Makes an ass out of you and me. I think it's Trinent too.
Yeah,
anyway, they're getting beat because Sterling Albion are winning that one. Both these boys agree with me there. Cove Rangers versus Queen of the South. Cove are flying.
Cove.
Are they flying?
Aye. They're top of the league. Cove will win that.
And Queen of the South are looking pretty dirty.
It's a good wee gauge to see where Cove are at though.
In terms of can they compete with a championship side?
Yeah.
I think Cove will win that. Alloa Athletic against Bonnie Rigrose. Alloa, you never know what you're going to get this season because they're either brilliant like they were against Queen's Park,
or they
just start getting everybody sent off. Bonnie
Alloa.
Rig are a decent Northern League team as well. I think they're up there this season.
Yeah, I think they're up there. Aye. Top of the league, I think.
A mate of mine, Jake,
did they beat Rangers B?
Don't think so. No. I think it was 1-0 to Rangers, but I think they're top of the league.
I noticed that Allegria guy, the Colombian striker, was in first team training this week.
He was in first team training, so was Charlie McCann.
Nice.
So
they weren't in the squad tonight, though, were they? They weren't. In the
no, they weren't registered.
They don't need to be because of youth players. I don't think. Am I right in saying that?
You need to be in the Europa League squad, no? Jack Simpson's not even in it.
I thought if you were under 20 or something like that, you got in. Or is that just the league?
I'm not sure.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I'm not sure. They'll beat you Star or East Kilbride. One of them's going through.
Mate, that's quality.
I think that was the thing because I think Big Jack was telling me the Cali Braves got beat off whoever East Kilbride beat. East Kilbride beat the team they were supposed to, so they could have had that tie.
To get into the third round?
To get into the fourth round.
To get into the fourth round, sorry?
I think it's the third round, this. Yeah, so that would have been to get in the fourth round. That's a killer, innit? Right, let's make sure I'm getting through all these games. They'll beat Star, why not? Be a bit of laugh. Oh no, this is the tie of the round. Auchinleck Talbot against Hamilton Academical. That is the tie of the round.
That is the tie of the round.
And that is the upset of the round.
See Auchinleck's stories recently in the Scottish Cup. They've just been incredible.
They were at Tynecastle years ago, maybe about 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
And they took Hearts to extra time after a draw in the first leg, I think.
Did you say 10 years ago?
It's about 10 years
Like
ago.
3 years ago, was it?
No, they beat Ayr a couple of years ago.
Aye.
That was a big one. But
Was it 10 years ago they played Hearts?
Probably would be, aye.
Probably not.
They put Ayr out and then they played Hearts, did they
I
not?
think they played Hearts when Hearts won the championship.
They played
They might
Ayr
have played,
and then...
they played Hearts twice, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, because they played them years ago and then they got beat off them recently. I'm sure that's correct.
Auchinleck are winning that anyway.
I think that's the shock of the round.
I'd love that.
Hamilton are absolute dog poo. Would you
They
agree
are
with that?
awful.
They are dog poo. We've got them in a couple of weeks. Can't wait. Arbroath, 4-4 covered. I'll beat you. Lothian Thistle, Hutchinson Vale against Edinburgh City.
Hutchie Vale.
I think too, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, why
Brilliant.
not?
They're just very good, aren't
Brilliant. Brilliant.
See the amount of players that have come through Hutchie Vale? It's crazy.
Loads of them did, didn't they?
Aye. Is that no if it's
Griffiths.
taking a Griffiths,
Snodgrass.
Kenny Muller,
I think Snodgrass.
some
was there.
good fucking players.
Queen's Park, Kelly be covered. Clydebank be covered. Silver Service Strollers against Peterhead. Peterhead will win that one.
Peterhead will stroll that one.
Very hot and cold, Peterhead, aren't they? It was a good win at the weekend, though, to be fair. Who did they beat at the weekend? They beat somebody at the weekend.
They beat Queen's Park 2-1.
That's right, so they did. Steny versus Airdrie. Steny doing alright in League 2. Airdrie.
Yeah.
Airdrie will win that.
Kelty against Montrose, a cracking game.
Oh,
that's
that's tasty, isn't it?
Leaders of League 2 against
Montrose.
High Flying. Ooh, at New Central Park too. That is a really tasty game. I'm going to go with Kelty.
I'm going to go Montrose 1-0.
Yeah, I'll go with Montrose as well.
Happy with whoever wins that, though, to be fair. The stinker of the round is Inverness against Morton because it's an all-championship tie. So Inverness will win that, though, because Morton are also dog poo.
lots of dog
Lots of
poos.
dog poo in the bottom of that championship, trust me, I
Lots
know.
of poo.
I've watched a lot of it this season. It is dog shit. What are you saying about that game?
Break it down for us.
Inverness.
Please don't. I've
Gardyne.
really
Who are the
contributed a
key
lot
players?
to this bit.
Michael
mate,
Gardyne.
I'm just reading off a list at this point for people to listen to. Who's listening to this? Because I've got to get in my head that people are not listening to this at 1
Some
a.m.
people put some people put the, what do you call it? The words in for the last episode that you said for them to say. The slippers thing. So you need to say another one before we end this.
Ayr against Albion Rovers. McGinley's favourite team, Albion Rovers, his
Absolutely.
local team. I go to Somerset Park. Speaking of dog poo, United are horrendous. They are so dog poo. Like, actually,
They
Are
are.
they bad?
Mate, you know what's going in the comments this week?
Dog poo.
Dog poo. Just write dog poo.
No,
Yeah,
because
when
then
you get
people
to this
think
point-
that the podcast is dog poo.
Nah, but they've got to watch it to find out what everyone's commenting dog poo. Because if you're still listening, if you haven't switched off by now, you deserve to be
This is
writing.
probably the best part.
You deserve to be writing dog poo in the comments.
Absolutely.
All I want to see dog shit everywhere.
Dog poo.
I always
I'm gonna be-
malfunction in the last 5 minutes.
I'm going to
of
be
the
going
shows.
in reading the comments with me poo bag. Just fucking cleaning up the comments.
Customer announcement. Please pick up your shit.
Clean up in aisle 5. Clean up in aisle 5. Aberdeen Rovers against. Fuck
Say
off.
that again, Matt. You'd be brilliant at the Scottish Cup draw. There you go.
Number 11.
Who was
That's
that?
a fucking.
That was Rod Stewart Pish.
That's Mecha Bingo.
Aberdeen Rovers against Annan Athletic. Well, let's go with the mighty Gala. Come on, why not? What do you think? Gala.
Annan.
6 each.
Lucas Jukovic. Dumbarton against Socky Juniors. That's a nice cup tie too.
Sucky Juniors.
Aye.
Love to see Sucky Juniors against Tranmere Juniors.
Yeah.
Um,
Shambles we are. Did Dumbarton are winning that?
see,
Sure.
the Suns are going to get sucked.
That's right.
But
Come on. No, he's had to take that too far.
That's
that's what Ryan was saying in the group chat about Germany. Suns are getting sucked.
Fuck knows what he was saying, but he certainly wasn't that. Falkirk Wraith Rovers. Did we give a prediction? I'm going to give a prediction. Red cards and quite a few of them, but Wraith Rovers will win that 2-1 with 2 men sent off in the game.
That does sound good, doesn't it?
It could be. Well, it's not. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to happen. This is what I think might happen.
Spoiler, he just did
It's
a
not
spoiler.
pre-recorded.
He genuinely just did a spoiler. That's embarrassing.
What do you think? Wraith Rovers Falkirk. He doesn't care. He wants to go home.
Rafe will winning that.
Falkirk.
Rafe will winning that for me.
Speaking of
Oh,
dog,
and in fact, no, Rafe.
speaking of dog poo, Falkirk Football Club, just in general, not even just a form, just
I
as
watched
a
their,
football
I
club.
watched their whole.
It's amazing, wasn't it?
It was brilliant.
Statements, not questions. And finally, another tasty game to round off the weekend on Monday night. It must be on the telly. I'm assuming it's on BBC Scotland. Brecon City host Darvel on Monday
Darvel
night.
winning that.
I would love to see Darvel win that, but Brecon are not as shit as they were last year because they're doing all right this year.
Yeah, they're top,
in the
but
Highland
Darvel
League.
put Stranraer at no last
They
round.
did, and Stranraer are surely better than Brecon, you would say.
Yes.
I'm going to back Darvel. The one thing is, fuck being them travelling up there on a Monday night
Plenty of
to
money.
then get beat. A little bit staying up there, won't they?
Darvel being the fucking Hilton up in Brecon.
Darvel get links to Black Rooster.
It's the same guy that owns it, eh?
Aye.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm just. He's
Wait.
mentioned them a couple of times.
I wasn't going. I'm just going to not say it.
It's just. It's just.
Don't like it myself short.
That's all right,
Fair
Darvel.
enough.
I'm back in Darvel. Right.
I'm back in Darvel.
Jesus Christ, we've got fucking Twitter questions. Right, let's go through these quickly. There was some good ones. We'll need to lift the standard of this show now.
I actually think this is my favourite segment.
When we just talk
The last bit at the end is my favourite part.
We've not got a quiz, do we?
No, thank fuck. I say that like we don't talk shite throughout the rest of the show.
Oh, I definitely have today.
There were some really good questions on Twitter today, so we need to re-engage ourselves here for this. And
subscribe.
Colin Weir asks, not the Thistle one. Will we see Hadji as a more regular starter at Rangers if Van Bronckhorst goes with 4-2-3-1?
Yes.
He didn't seem to fit Gerrard's system.
No, he didn't. He couldn't play in the wing like he wasn't he?
He couldn't really play in the midfield three either.
I know.
Yeah, so he'll be delighted with what he's seeing tonight.
He'll be given a lot more freedom, I think, in this new system.
Yeah, I think that's probably true too. That's not a very good question. Is Craig Stewart asks, is Yeti the worst striker in the league? I mean, probably not. That's
It's not
probably
the
a
worst,
few
no.
worse.
He could probably do a job for another team, but he's just not good enough for Celtic.
Who's a dreadful striker in the league that I could say? Like, I'm trying to think of somebody that's really bad.
I'm going through them all.
I'm trying to think.
It's
The
Dundee.
first one that comes
Set up
to
with
my
Dundee.
mind is
I was just like,
Big McGee at Ross
Connor
County, but I feel bad.
Connor Salmon's not in the league anymore. He would be the go-to for a question like
Where
that.
is he
wouldn't
now?
Alloa.
He scored for Alloa, did he not, the weekend? Is he playing for Alloa?
Aye.
He scored, did he not, at the weekend?
My Alloa League's knowledge is better than yours,
It
this show.
is, that is very good.
Trying to go through all the strikers and
Right, this is the question for you, McGinley. I need you to engage your Blaine fuck off.
David Blaine.
Blaine County Radio, it's a GTA 5 reference. Lewis Laird, who
Love
is
that.
just so much more clever than me with everything that he writes on Twitter.
he's a clever lad.
He is a clever lad and he's good at what he does. He's going to be a star in the journalism world. As a spoiler, not a prediction.
It was a really glowing reference.
Yeah, he's
I
brilliant,
No,
Lewis
I
Laird, to be
totally
fair.
agree, but it was a totally glowing reference.
Yeah. Whereas
Man,
wasters
sorry.
like me are doing shit like this. Right.
What did you say?
Has another good performance from Ange's side away in Europe shown that the questions about his system should be somewhat written off. A lot of people have been saying he needs to change the way he plays, whereas he's saying, no, I don't. And Lewis follows on this by saying, personally think, as the majority have stated, it's all down to depth and hopefully see him back in January. Now, before I pass to McGinley, then you. I get, Ange obviously he's got a style of play and he always wants to play that way. I don't think the performance tonight gets rid of the criticism and the claims about that because ultimately they didn't win. So there's still a question there, but I think Lewis makes a good point in that depth is key.
Yeah, absolutely. We do need more squad depth, but I really enjoyed the way we played tonight. The way we took it to a top quality European opponent. Why not? We could sit back and then lose a couple of goals anyway. So why not just go for it?
Div, tell me a top team in Europe that changes the way they play ever. I'll tell you one team that does do it regularly. Man United.
I bet they're not top team.
Exactly. And look what happens to them. Shite.
They will
They've not
be.
got a philosophy. They've not got a style of play.
I think there's you can change certain elements and how you approach it and such,
to
but
fundamentally
the
change
actual
it.
fundamentals and philosophy you can't change.
The days of like just chucking two big guys up front and hoping for the best is
I know.
gone.
And I was going to say, I watched Postecoglou's interview with Open Goal and they asked him the question in regards to that, and he basically says, if somebody turns around to me and says, you need to get a result in this game, the last thing I'm going to do is change the way I want to play. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's his way or the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And people need to get used to that. They're like, oh, he needs to do such and such. This isn't the way he plays. He plays his own certain way, and he's never going to... He's a man of character and morals and that. He's not going to change the way he plays. That's just the bottom line. So we're just going to need to get used to it. And it is really good when it comes off. It's absolutely brilliant.
Is there an argument that once you go 2-1 up against a team like Leverkusen, you do tweak it and you try and...
The thing is, we had a chance to go
Boyle
3-1 up at the time. Mikey Johnson had a really, really good chance. I think it was Mikey Johnson anyway. It was right before they get their equaliser. So, I mean, if it's 3-1, then you've basically won the game. These things happen, though, I guess.
I'm fucking knackered, by the way.
So am I.
Right.
I'm driving.
Actually, Kennedy asks, mate, get a Red Bull down, you son. You've heard it.
No,
I'm up
I'm
tomorrow
off
at
that
9.
now.
Is McGinley still waiting to bring on January the 2nd?
For a Livingston
Yes,
in a row?
I did tweet that. Yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. Yeah.
Nice. I love a man who stands by his tweets.
Absolutely.
Aaron Smith asked, what is the point of James McCarthy? Just to play a couple of games. That's the whole point.
He's
Pretty
there for the
much.
testimonials.
Yes, there for this. Yeah, he wants to be like wheeled out like Louis Tomlinson was for that charity game.
He plays as if he's still.
Louis Tomlinson's is probably a better player, to be fair.
He plays as if he's still got his 2 legs broken. Honestly,
Yeah.
he's just so immobile.
Has he broke his legs?
He had a double what? I can't even speak. Oh, I'm so tired, guys.
Yeah, I'm not even reading any more
guys.
questions. I've done.
Honestly, McCarthy, man.
There's a lot.
McCarthy's just
Mate, just
dreadful.
quickly go through them.
No,
There might
there's
be a
like
good
3
one.
questions there.
Just go.
I'd go for it.
I
Aye.
don't think there's like.
But here now, I'm not even tired.
They're all long as well. Fuck, it's a lot of reading for this time of the night.
Do you want me to read them?
No, it's alright, mate. You don't want that either. Right,
I mean, I don't. I was just saying it to be nice.
right, okay. At Ibrox Park, I don't think it's the actual stadium. Stadiums
That
can't
is.
tweet their buildings.
Aye, they can.
It's like the Loudon. How can a pub tweet? As much as overall I've been impressed with the impact Ange has made at Celtic in such a short space of time, has his job been made easier due to the fact Celtic are a team that have been so used to winning, last season excluded, compared to Gerrard, who inherited a team of serial losers? An uphill battle to improve the side of. I have to be honest with you, I've read that and I can't remember.
I forgot
what
it.
just said.
So
I think
that's a statement, not a question.
That's a fucking
I
statement.
think
That is a statement.
I
Like-
can't get it out of my head. I'm imagining Ibrox speaking like something out of Cars.
you will always hear us tweeting. Right, okay.
That's
I
like a
think
verse out of the Bible, wasn't it?
the gist of his.
Soliloquy.
An old tongue, wasn't
It's a
it?
psalm.
The original.
I think the gist of his question was,
The
did
Old
Ange
Testament.
shut up? I think the gist of his question is, did Ange have an easier job because last season excluded, as the squad he inherited were used to winning things, whereas Gerrard's squad were serial losers. Now I know Celtic.
Did Ange even inherit? What was the squad Ange inherited? He
No,
inherited like
I mean-
17 youth players or something.
We've got 12 new players in this team.
Yeah,
so
I mean, who's you got like McGregor?
McGregor,
Beaton.
Turnbull,
No, Turnbull hadn't won fuck all for
Oh,
Celtic.
true. Aye, you were saying that.
I think
So,
the both of them.
Forrest.
Beaton, Forrest, McGregor.
I think the both of them inherited a terrible team, basically. Not terrible, but
It's a team that needed a rebuild.
Postecoglou was probably in a better position.
And
but
also, judging by post-match interviews at the weekend, Rangers still have a team of losers. Judging by
Aye,
what
not
a
in
lot
the
of
mail,
people
mate.
are saying. No, it's amazing.
Do we look
what,
happy?
What one game does, doesn't
Yes.
it? Right.
That's the way it works, though.
I think it's the way it is.
Last 32 for but
Mate,
3
do you
games in
want
a
to go
row.
home or what?
Aye.
Right.
You've said that about 3 times now.
I
And
know.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just thinking of your well-being, to be honest with you, mate. If anyone's still watching, just spam dog poo in the comments.
No, end it. Just end it.
No, because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there with my poo bag tomorrow, scooping it all up.
You just constantly talked about dog poo.
Well,
What's
have
the
you
last
seen the
questions?
bottom half of the Scottish Championship? You'd be talking about dog poo too.
What's the last question?
There's no more left.
Is that
There
it?
was quite a few left, but you just didn't read them out.
They were too long. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not doing it.
Old Testament.
I just can't.
All I can think about is Ange's Ark for some reason.
Ange's Ark and
Ange's
Ibrox
Ark.
with a mouth just talking, and me with poo bags.
Jesus.
I should like just go around Somerset, Capello.
Jesus. That's a cracker.
Yeah.
Not in a good way, I don't think. Jesus. That seems like a medical term.
He just partied the fucking Sparta defence
Yeah,
tonight
they
with
did.
his big stick.
I think Sparta did a good job of doing that themselves,
They
to
did.
be honest.
No, it was Gio with his stick.
No,
Oh,
it was
he's-
Sparta.
Jesus.
The Sparta defenders like whipping the crosses into the box. It helped.
It's a great assistant.
That's a great assist. Right, that I don't want another word out of you two because I'm wrapping this up.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is definitely the best part of the show.
it's been a cracker, hasn't it? It's been fun. You can speak now. I'm letting you speak again.
It's been fun. Do you know, I'm half asleep, but we've
I
went
can
with
actually
it.
feel my eyes shutting, which
Yeah,
is dreadful.
I need to drive home. Hopefully I get home. If not, then this could be my final podcast if something happens. So
Fuck me.
The
It's a
last
bit- it's very-
podcast.
the last one.
The last-
It's grim, but
The
it's
last
realistic.
podcast.
The last podcast.
The last podcast.
I don't get what you mean.
No, do I?
Was it the Last Supper? The final supper?
Yeah.
I play on 2 years, fuck off,
Is
man.
that a Catholic joke?
No, it's no.
No, I know it's close. It's not.
I've actually even I've said it
The
wrong.
Last
'cause
Supper can be Protestant.
It can be.
It's a Christian thing.
I know,
I was trying to do the reference to drug humour. You know, the one that you know in between us. I completely fucked up. I completely fucked it up. So.
This is definitely the best part.
It is. I mean, this is the podcast that just brings you everything, including dog poo in the comments.
Dog poo, Geosis, talking Ibrox Park, Angie's Arc.
Right, okay, I'm wrapping this up now because I am really needing to go to bed.
Beaton's defo a giraffe into and his arc.
I don't know what McCarthy's a dodo.
He's extinct.
He just stinks.
He's a dodo with broken legs. Do dodos have? Well, they must have legs.
Yeah.
They're extinct.
Yeah.
Because they were easily hunted.
He was my favourite Rangers player ever, Joe Dodo.
He was terrible, but then he was amazing. He went to Blackpool and now I think he's retired.
He'll be switching the Christmas lights of Blackpool this year.
I'm going to look him up. Wait a minute. He plays for Doncaster.
Fair play.
I'm in Louis Tomlinson.
Aye, remember he signed for them. That was some laugh.
Mind Usain Bolt signed for somebody that he played up front with Ross McCormack in the
Central Coast Mariners.
That's right, mate. He's still chasing his first touch, by the way. But he got it rapid, to be fair.
The fastest man in existence ever.
Oh my god!
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Thanks for watching episode 90. That was. If you've got to the end, just I love you a bit.
There's questions.
And we'll see you all back at the end of the weekend. Maybe I'll be up on Monday. Maybe. We'll see. Simon's will be back for that one, so maybe you can have that show off because you've been doing a lot recently.
That'd be nice.
But then if Celtic get beat, you'll be fucking racing this year.
You'll be in Union Monday, so.
Oh, so he will. So it might be a Sunday night. Could be a Sunday night job. We could do a Sunday night one. Anyway, the point is this is over. So thank you all for watching. And we'll see you later. Cheers.